I can't believe I'm interviewing the Bunk. I'm nervous.
You're not in the box. Don't worry about it.
It might be a good thing for you to write a little letter to those children. And you let them know you sorry. Because it's wrong that they lost their daddy behind what happened.
Let me just be on the record as saying I'm an enormous fan of The Wire and you specifically. So I'm very excited for the new show, which starts Sunday on HBO, right?
Yes, Treme premieres Sunday on HBO. It is a new series by David Simon, which is about post-Katrina New Orleans. It's a real celebration of the city, but more importantly, a depiction of the spirit of the people of New Orleans, that in spite of everything that has happened to us down here, that it's the human spirit and that can-do spirit of New Orleans that makes the recovery possible.
Shorty sent me to show y'all how to play this here music. Yeah, it's the sixth ward in my bone, baby. Yo, Treme, y'all don't know nothing about that.
Tell me about your character and how it fits into the overall plot.
I play Antoine Baptiste, who is a jazz trombone player in the great tradition of brass music in New Orleans. And he's a guy who's living hand to mouth and just trying to make it day to day. But the one thing that's certain in his life is the fact that he loves music, and he knows that that is the thing that he was born to do. While other things in his life may be off kilter, that's the one thing that he knows is his calling.
Play for that money, boys. Play for that money.
We in New Orleans rely on our culture more than any other place I know. It's something that is ingrained in our daily routine, music and food and all of that. We express life, death, love, hatred, everything through culture. You know, it's the way people intersect with life. And I think it's on display here on a much more daily basis. That's so much a part of how we express the frustrations of trying to bring back our lives after this disaster, and how to bring back the city. And it really is a depiction of this sort of diversity and complexity of the New Orleans psyche. So it's really about the people, you know, most of all. And that's the thing that I'm trying to find in Antoine. There's a uniqueness to the New Orleans spirit that that is expressed in a way that most Americans don't tap into. It's the unique blues idiom. In spite of everything that's happening to me, we will find a way to get by.
In the aftermath of Katrina, a then freshman senator by the name of Barack Obama had a great quote. He said that America goes from shock to trance quicker than any other nation on earth. That's my long way of saying we don't talk a lot about New Orleans anymore. Do you hope that this show going on the air starting Sunday will change that?
To add to great quotes, Dr. Martin Luther King said that we're a 10-day nation. He always told his staff that we have the consciousness of the nation for about a 10-day period. And we're 5 years down the road here in New Orleans, and we know that there's Katrina fatigue, that people think they have heard the whole story, but the real tragedy of Katrina, the real struggle of Katrina is actually happening now. And hopefully, because of the human connection that we're going to try to express in the Treme, that people will reconnect and understand that it's not just a news story, that it's a human story.
What hit the Mississippi Gulf Coast was a natural disaster, a hurricane, pure and simple. The flooding of New Orleans was a man-made catastrophe.
And it's art imitating life for me, because, you know, I came back to my neighborhood of Pontchartrain Park, and along with past and present residents, we pulled together our own development corporation, and we're redeveloping our own neighborhood. So we hope that the show will bring that spotlight back to New Orleans in a way that's uniquely human, so that we can understand the human struggle instead of just the news story.
Let me just ask you one very, very quick question before we let you go. Is it true that you have not been able to buy yourself a drink in recent years because everybody wants to buy the Bunk a drink?
Yeah, that is kind of true.
That's awesome.
I have been saddled up to the bar with so many people who say, man, I want to drink with the Bunk. People have paid money just to sit next to me to get drunk. And I oblige them. You know, I'm not an alcoholic. I will admit that I am a drunk, which is, you know, alcoholics need to drink, drunks love to drink. Trying to pull back on it. and sort of, modulate it a little bit.
You know what? Just for the record, I don't want to be an enabler, but if I ever see you, I would happily buy you a drink.
Thank you, Dan. I'll do the same. I always return the favor.